Okay, it's 4:42. We have about 15 minutes. Any more questions? Did I miss anybody's question? I'm going to figure this thing out without my face disappearing. Okay. Any more questions? Let me give you a little bit about my background while I wait for your questions. I've worked with nonprofit organizations for 25 years since I landed in Florida, and I've worked in direct services. Direct services are the essential workers, the people who deliver the service for the organization. You learn a lot about what makes programs work and what don't. And I've probably made every mistake along the way working at a nonprofit, except for going to jail. I know some folks that went to jail messing up some money, and that's why it's important. Someone asked about compliance. That's why it's important to understand the compliance issue. That's why it's important to ask for help. That's why it's important to have your team, to have someone, have a bookkeeper, have a lawyer, and not necessarily as board members, but paid positions. And you build your budget. You build your budget, and you build a line item for these services that you need to effectively run your nonprofit organization. The marketing, the community, the community engagement part of your organization requires marketing. We're going to say outreach, recruitment, retention, and engagement / marketing requires that. You need that. I remember back in the day, we would make flyers and do marketing, but we had to call it flyers and had to put it under outreach and recruitment. So anytime you create advertisement for your organization, that is outreach and recruitment. When you're building your budgets, and this is a lot of information that I'm giving you all in 90 minutes, but hopefully you retain 10%. So when you're building your budget, you have to document it. So for those of you who have that passion project, you did some outreach and recruitment, you did some begging, you spent some of your money, you've convinced some of your friends to spend some money, you probably went to your church, temple, or synagogue and asked some of them to spend some money and say, help me do this. And so that's the beginning part of the outreach and recruitment and marketing. So what you're doing is you're taking, and I'm gonna do a recap. What you're doing is you're taking, evaluate whether or not this is something that you want to take to the next level and organize it so you can get the real financial support that you need by creating a not-for-profit organization that serves the population that you're so passionate about. I'm going to say this, you don't own it. The nonprofit organization is a public trust. So we always use the language, oh, my nonprofit, or I own a nonprofit. No, you do not own a nonprofit. You are the founder of a nonprofit organization. And I want us to practice using that language more often as the founder of an organization. And also there's 2 dates to pay attention to. Since you have a passion project and you've been doing it, and you probably got a Facebook page and you probably made a t-shirt and people know what you're doing with your passion project. So your passion project may have been founded in 2018, but got incorporated in 2020. So you have 2 different dates. That founded part is a part of your narrative. That's very important. People will know your why. How long have you been doing this? If you just say, we started in 2020, your 2 years of your passion project and the most important part of your story and your why is missing. So it is okay, and it's very important to be able to document all the work and all the seeds that was planted in your passion project, because those very seeds and those very relationships are going to help you develop your nonprofit organization. So recap, Mama and them, those three people that helped you incorporate the 501c3
That's
may
funny.
not be on the board 2 years from now, from the date that you incorporated. But their role was important and special because it helped you take your passion project to a legal business entity. Thank them very much. Ask them, are they committed to be a part of the organization with their with their financial obligations and showing up for the meetings and doing the work? And if they say no, don't be mad. Say, I need to move you off the board, but I want you to be in. Could you be an ambassador? Could you be a volunteer? Could you be my poster child? Find someone to be on that board that has the passion, the vision, or believes in what you're doing to help you. Because having dead weight or having people on the board who are not naturally interested in what you're doing enough to do that 20 hours a month. And I'm saying 20 hours a month because if you have an active working board, it will involve 20 hours a month. Not just going to the board meeting. So they need to know. And usually that's what happens with those first three people that you asked to be on the board. They thought the responsibility was just help you become a legal business entity and they go about their business. Forgive them, send them a thank you note, say that's okay. But you also ask them, why this is your passion project? Is there other people that will be interested in participating at the next level of your organization? Because you don't want to fall out with your mama and them and your cousin and them about this nonprofit. But you want to find people to help lift you up who you can also sow seeds in. So it's important to make sure you ask anyone who's going to help you in your passion project, why do they want to be involved? Are y'all with me? Any questions? Let's end with some questions. We got 10 minutes. Dr. Swilly Woods.
I've definitely enjoyed this. I've enjoyed very much your discussion. And it's just been absolutely informative. Even the things I thought I knew, they were just refreshers and just made me really reflect back on the kind of work that we are all engaged in doing and want to do it so right. But it's just been just wonderful listening to you. And, I just look forward to hearing more and learning more, about this process. But I think one of the important things, though, is more and more, I think nonprofits have to look at themselves as business entities.
Yes.
Oftentimes we are just written off as this nonprofit, you guys just do this work. When I think in so many ways, we are required to have those regulations in place. You can't get too far without an audit. You can't get far without your instruments, your board minutes, your regular $200 the state make you pay for your consumer stuff. All of that stuff is just, if you don't have the financial capacity to pay for those services annually, it still sort of keeps you, trying to get where you're going because funders are asking for those kind of instruments. Like Give Miami Day, you got to have those instruments.
Right.
So I just sort of want to encourage folk who are thinking about it. It's usually a 1 to 5 year process. If it was that easy, everyone would do it and be successful. But it usually takes time to build board synergy and get common agendas and common goals and directions. Maybe, that's just sort of been my experience. It really has taken time to cultivate. 1 to 3 years.
But don't scare them away. Don't scare them away. That's a whole day discussion that all of us need to have about the roles and responsibilities of being on a board, especially when we're talking about your passion project.
Okay.
Now, knowing what we know,
Okay.
it's our duty to help the people with the passion projects
Okay.
to decide whether or not it's just going to stay a passion project,
Okay. Okay.
and be a part
Okay.
of
Okay.
another entity.
Very
Or
good.
maybe they can go to a
Yeah.
women's organization or a men's
Okay.
organization and say, hey,
Good.
I've been doing this for 5 years,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
don't want to be a full
Okay.
501c3.
Okay.
I don't want all that headache. I just am good at
Okay.
getting people to give
Okay.
and
Good.
support.
Thank you for that.
And that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because there's plenty of nonprofits that's registered in the state of Florida who have not applied for their 501c3. They still doing 990s. A 990 is the tax form for your nonprofit organization when you haven't raised any or made any money.
Mm-hmm.
And so after a while, you're treating this new nonprofit like a passion project, but when it is a legitimate business entity.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to scare anybody away.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. But we can but we need to have that upper level, more mature, next level conversation with the people who got the 501c3 and still haven't successfully written their first grant or solicited more than $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that it's in stages, and we want people's passion projects.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're on the line and you have a passion project, most definitely reach out to Dr. Swilly Woods, because that's a collaboration opportunity. It's a great opportunity for a nonprofit organization that is stable to reach out into the community to help lift up passion projects. Because some projects are just meant to be just that, a project.
Okay.
Something you come together, you do, it has a start and it has a finish, and you go.
Good.
Because they don't want to, or they love their current job and don't want the responsibility of balancing the books and audits and staff training and certifications and all those things that go along with the behind the scenes of building a nonprofit.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that.
Okay. Anybody else? Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna figure this thing out, y'all. Okay, we got 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn it back over to, I think I pretty much covered everybody's questions. I'm just gonna look one more time. Yeah, I answered the questions. If any more questions come in, I will gladly answer them and send you an email. So anybody?
So thank you, Metris, for your time, your talent, your energy. We truly appreciate it. For everybody on the call, you will be getting an email from OCYC to just give us some feedback on the information, the presentation, and everything for today. We're doing surveys so we can make sure we have our ducks in order. So as we plan for future events, we have everything that everybody needs. So thank you all for your time. We truly appreciate you coming on the call. Metris, thank you wholeheartedly for giving us all of your information. Changing that passion project into a nonprofit is a whole step, and it has a lot of steps to it. But even if the partnerships that come with partnering with different organizations for that moment, if that's what it is right now in your life, go for it.
Go for it.
And just make sure that that dream that lives in you lives on in some way. So thank you all for joining today. We will send out that survey in the next hour or so. It'll be up for 2 days, and then we'll go from there.
Good. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Metris. Amazing work.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Great job.
Thank you.